In the stillness before dawn, when the stars are fading and Olympus is wrapped in silver mist, the Queen of Heaven awakens. Hera, goddess of marriage, protector of family, the eternal symbol of devotion and dignity. Yet behind her radiant crown lies a heart that has known both tenderness and tempest. This story invites you to walk beside her for one serene day, to see not just the power of a goddess, but the quiet rhythm of her divine soul. You will hear the whisper of clouds that carry her footsteps, the murmur of nymphs preparing the morning air, and the deep hum of Olympus itself as it greets its queen. You will see her gaze upon Zeus with a blend of affection and unspoken thought. You will follow her as she tends to mortal lovers, guides the newlywed, and listens to the songs of the Graces. Through this journey, we will glimpse her laughter, her patience, her longing for harmony among gods and mortals alike. It is not a tale of thunder or betrayal tonight. It is a lullaby of divine routine, woven from candlelight, memory, and the fragrance of ambrosia. As you drift deeper into this mythic day, time will slow. The mighty Hera will become something more human, and the heavens will seem closer to your dreams. Let your mind soften, your breath deepen. The dawn on Olympus glows faintly golden. Hera opens her eyes, and the story begins. Hello, welcome to my channel. Before we start, it's a good idea to get into bed and relax. I would also like to ask you to subscribe to my channel, like it, and write in the comments where you are from and what time it is. Thank you. Have a nice viewing. The first light of the divine morning falls gently over marble pillars. A soft wind stirs the golden drapes in Hera's chamber, carrying the scent of lilies and myrrh. The goddess rests on a bed woven from the clouds of dawn, her breath calm and slow, her face serene, as if she dreams of harmony the world rarely gives her. Outside, the muses begin their morning hymn, their voices light as dew. Hera's eyes open. The glow within them mirrors the rising sun. She sits up gracefully, her hair spilling over her shoulders like streams of polished amber. Another day begins. She whispers to herself, a phrase that, for her, has echoed for millennia. Her attendants, nymphs clothed in pale gold, approach with bowls of shimmering water. They bathe her hands and crown her with the diadem of Olympus. Hera smiles softly, though her mind wanders to Zeus. He has not returned from his nightly wanderings. Again, yet the goddess's heart remains calm. This is not anger, only the quiet ache of eternal knowing. She steps onto the terrace, where the sky blushes with newborn light. Far below, the mortal world stirs. Farmers rising, children waking, brides lighting morning candles in her name. Hera listens, feeling their devotion flow toward her like warmth. It is this connection, not thunder, not power, that defines her divinity. Let harmony reign today, she murmurs, her voice carrying across the mountains. Doves take flight from her hand, their wings scattering silver feathers. The air trembles, and for a moment, Olympus itself seems to hold its breath, awaiting the queen's will. But beneath the peace, a faint echo stirs, a whisper of argument from the distant halls, perhaps Ares and Athena quarreling again. Hera sighs. Even among gods, balance is fragile. She turns from the sunrise and prepares to begin her quiet duty, tending the bonds of love that weave the heavens together. Her first task of the day awaits in the Hall of Vows, where mortal promises are heard, blessed, and sealed. The goddess moves through corridors of light, her gown trailing like mist. Every step leaves a soft shimmer behind, like moonlight lingering on calm water. When she enters the hall, the marble floor hums with sacred energy. Before her stand two shades, the spirits of newlywed mortals, lost too soon in the world below. They bow deeply, their forms trembling with awe. Hera raises her hand gently. Peace, she says, you are bound by love eternal. Let no sorrow part you again. A glow surrounds the spirits, and they vanish, united once more in light. Hera smiles, her heart swelling with quiet fulfillment. These moments, unseen by Zeus, unspoken in myths, are what sustain her. As she turns to leave, the distant sound of thunder rolls softly. She pauses, closes her eyes, and lets the echo fade. Let him have his storms, she thinks. Today, I will keep the calm. The doves return, circling her in silver arcs. Their song mingles with the golden hum of morning. Hera walks slowly back toward her chambers, where the scent of nectar drifts through the air. The goddess of marriage, wrapped in serenity and memory, moves gracefully into the unfolding day. The morning deepens on Olympus, and soft rays of amber light drift through the marble halls. Hera walks toward the court of harmony, where the gods often meet before noon. The air is filled with the scent of blooming ambrosia. Each petal opens in her honor, glowing faintly beneath her feet. She pauses beside a fountain shaped like intertwined swans. Their wings pour silver water, whispering the music of devotion. Hera listens, her reflection rippling across the surface. If only the hearts of gods were as gentle as water, she murmurs, her tone both wistful and wise. From the distance comes the melody of laughter. Bright, melodic, unmistakably belonging to Aphrodite. The goddess of love approaches, surrounded by golden butterflies. Dearest Hera, she sings softly, I see you woke with the dawn itself. Hera smiles faintly. Love rarely sleeps late, she replies, her words a blend of warmth and irony. Aphrodite bows playfully, her eyes sparkling with mischief. And yet, she teases, even love cannot mend what storms have broken. Zeus was restless again last night. The words linger in the air like drifting perfume. Hera does not flinch. She lifts her chin, her voice calm and melodic. The heavens are vast, she says. Let each star wander if it must. The sun still rises where it should. Aphrodite tilts her head, her expression softening. You have more patience than the sky itself. As they walk together, the sound of footsteps echoes ahead, firm, deliberate. Athena appears, her silver armor catching the light like crystal. Mother Hera, she greets, bowing respectfully. There is unrest among the fates. They quarrel over a mortal's thread. Hera nods, her gaze thoughtful. Mortals forget that even destiny has moods, she replies. Let them quarrel for a while. Balance returns when the noise tires itself. Athena smiles slightly. Your calm could tame even Ares, she says. Hera chuckles softly. Then perhaps I should try before the day ends. They reach the council chamber, vast, sunlit, ringed with pillars carved from pure light. The seats of the gods shimmer faintly, though most remain empty. Hera takes her place at the center, her presence alone enough to steady the air. Aphrodite reclines beside her, fanning herself with a feather of dawn. Athena stands tall, watching everything with quiet vigilance. Hera's voice fills the hall, low and melodic. We will speak not of thunder or jealousy today. Let us tend to gentler matters, to unions, births, and the small miracles that keep the world alive. The air seems to hush, as if Olympus itself listens. From the clouds below, faint prayers rise, the whispers of mortals thanking her for love, for peace within their homes. Hera closes her eyes and feels the threads of every marriage she blesses, glowing softly like constellations in her mind. Each vow is a star, each promise a gentle flame. Aphrodite leans closer, her tone now thoughtful. Do you ever tire, Hera, of carrying so many hearts? The queen smiles. Sometimes, she admits, but love, even troubled love, is the pulse of creation. Without it, the world would fall silent. Athena nods in agreement. Even wisdom needs warmth to survive, she adds quietly. For a while, the three goddesses sit together in rare stillness. The sunlight ripples across the floor, and the sound of distant harps drifts through the hall. Hera breathes deeply, the scent of nectar soothing her senses. In moments like this, Olympus feels at peace. Fragile, fleeting, but real. Then, faint thunder trembles on the horizon, a reminder that calm never lasts forever. Hera opens her eyes, serene but resolute. Let him rage, she whispers. The queen keeps the hearth while the king commands the storm. She rises slowly, her gown flowing like golden mist. The council dissolves in silence, the echoes of her words lingering like incense. As Hera steps into the daylight once more, the sky brightens, and the doves return to follow her. Another hour of her divine day begins, calm, watchful, eternal. The sun climbs higher above Olympus, bathing its marble towers in pale gold. Hera stands upon her terrace, overlooking the mortal world. Below, the fields shimmer, the rivers gleam, and distant cities awaken with laughter, tears, and vows whispered in her name. She closes her eyes, feeling each heartbeat like a soft echo in her soul. To Hera, every promise made by mortals is a spark of divine light. She senses them, the newlyweds beneath the olive trees, the mother rocking her child, the old couple still holding hands after decades of storms. Each carries a piece of her essence. Yet, among the warmth, there is also sorrow. Broken bonds, forgotten vows, love fading like smoke. These, too, reach her heart. A sigh escapes her lips. Love endures, she whispers, but not without care. Her words drift like petals on the wind, carried across mountains to mortal ears that may never know their source. The goddess lifts her hand, tracing a pattern of light in the air. Instantly, a faint shimmer appears, a vision of a mortal couple, arguing beside a hearth. With a gentle gesture, Hera softens their hearts. The man's anger eases, the woman's eyes fill with tears of forgiveness. Slowly, they embrace. The vision fades, leaving Hera alone with her thoughts. Even mortals remember, she murmurs. Even they learn. A low rumble stirs the air. The clouds darken slightly, not in anger, but as a sign. Hera turns her gaze upward. Lightning flickers behind the peaks of Olympus. The scent of ozone mingles with the fragrance of lilies. She knows this presence well. Moments later, the wind parts, and Zeus descends. Radiant, majestic, yet softened by the afternoon glow. His robes shimmer with the color of storms restrained, his eyes carrying both power and remorse. For a moment, they simply look at each other, two ancient forces balanced between love and memory. Hera, he says quietly, you rise with the dawn, and yet I find you still at your vigil. His voice is deep, carrying thunder's echo even when gentle. She inclines her head. A queen must watch while others dream, she replies. Even the clouds need tending. Zeus smiles faintly, though guilt flickers beneath it. I walked among mortals last night, he admits. Their prayers are loud, their hopes endless. Hera meets his gaze calmly. And their promises fragile, she says. You know this better than anyone. Silence lingers. The air hums between them, not hostile, only heavy with everything unspoken. Zeus takes a step closer. I came not to argue, he says, only to see you, to remind myself that the heavens still have light beyond my storms. Her eyes soften. You need no reminder, she answers. But perhaps you seek forgiveness. The words are gentle, not accusing. Zeus looks away, his expression shadowed by centuries of misunderstanding. Do you still believe in us? He asks quietly. Hera turns her gaze toward the horizon. The mortal world glows beneath a veil of sunlight. Belief, she says slowly, is not a gift. It is a choice renewed each morning. And today, yes, I believe. For a long moment, they stand together in silence, the wind weaving around them like invisible music. A dove lands near Hera's feet, tilting its head curiously. Zeus smiles at the sight, and his hand brushes hers, not in command, not in apology, but in fragile peace. Stay for a while, Hera says softly. Let the day breathe without thunder. Zeus nods, and for once, the sky agrees. The clouds dissolve into calm light. They walk side by side along the terrace, the sound of distant harps floating from the gardens below. As they move, Hera tells him of the mortals she watched, their quarrels, their reconciliations. Zeus listens, his usual restlessness subdued. You care for them deeply, he says, even when they forget you. Hera smiles. Love does not vanish because it is unseen. Zeus pauses, thoughtful. You have always been the heart of Olympus, he murmurs. Hera shakes her head gently. No, she replies. I am its memory, the one who keeps its promise alive. The afternoon deepens. Sunlight filters through soft veils of mist, casting halos around them. For a rare hour, the king and queen of gods simply exist, not as thunder and judgment, but as two beings who remember why eternity began. When the first breeze of evening stirs, Zeus turns to leave. You bring calm to my storms, he says quietly. Hera's smile is faint but real. Then let that be enough for today. As he ascends into the sky once more, lightning flares, brief, distant, like a heartbeat. Hera watches until he disappears into the clouds. Then she closes her eyes, breathing in the stillness he left behind. Below, the mortal world glimmers beneath twilight. Lovers light candles, families gather, and the hum of life drifts upward. Hera feels their warmth and lets it steady her. The day is far from over, and the Queen of Olympus still has promises to keep. As the afternoon sun leans toward the edge of the sky, the golden halls of Olympus begin to glow with deeper warmth. The light softens, turning marble into honey and air into silk. Hera walks slowly through the corridors, her gown trailing behind like flowing mist. Each footstep hums with quiet divinity, echoing through the sacred air. She pauses by an open archway. Below her, the gardens of creation bloom in eternal twilight. Silver pomegranates hang heavy from the branches, and fountains shaped like stars pour rivers of light. Hera descends the stairs, her hand brushing the vines that coil like ribbons of moonlight. In the garden's heart, the forge of Hephaestus glows faintly. Sparks drift upward like fireflies, painting gold dust upon the leaves. The god of craft stands within, his strong hands shaping delicate forms from living metal, bracelets that shimmer like dew, cups that hum with unseen music. Hera watches him work, her gaze filled with quiet pride. Hephaestus senses her presence and turns, wiping his brow with a smile. "Mother," he says gently, "the fire burns calm today. It listens to your mood." Hera steps closer, her voice soft as the evening breeze. "Then let it rest in peace. The day has been kind." He holds up a small creation, a pendant shaped like two hands intertwined, its surface glowing faintly. "For you," he says, "a symbol of harmony." Hera takes it carefully, her eyes shining with gratitude. "You forge more than gold, my son," she says. "You shape the silence between hearts." They sit beside the forge, the light flickering against the marble walls. Hera speaks of the council, of Aphrodite's laughter and Athena's calm. Hephaestus listens, his eyes reflecting both fire and tenderness. "The gods may argue," he says, "but your voice steadies them. Even the flames learn patience from you." Hera smiles faintly. "Patience is a long road, Hephaestus, but it leads to peace." She looks at the pendant again, feeling its warmth pulse gently in her palm. "Tell me," she asks softly, "do you ever tire of creation?" Hephaestus shakes his head. "No, mother." Each spark is a chance to begin again. His words linger in her mind as she rises to leave. The sun has dipped low. The air is turning cool. Far above, the first stars begin to appear, timid, golden, like newborn thoughts. Hera walks through the garden paths, her hand gliding across the flowers that open only at dusk. Athena meets her near the reflecting pool. The goddess of wisdom sits upon a stone bench, her armor softened by twilight. "You look thoughtful," she says as Hera approaches. Hera smiles gently. "I was with Hephaestus. His forge glows brighter than ever." Athena nods. "Creation soothes the restless heart," she says. "You of all beings understand that." They sit together, watching the stars ripple across the pool's surface. "Do you think mortals still dream of us?" Athena asks. Hera closes her eyes for a moment. "Yes," she replies, "though they no longer see our faces, they feel our touch. Every promise kept, every kindness shared, that is our echo." Athena tilts her head, her eyes soft. "Then perhaps we are eternal not in power, but in memory." Hera smiles. "Memory is love that refuses to fade." A soft wind moves through the garden, carrying the scent of night-blooming jasmine. The torches along the path flicker, casting halos of golden light around them. Hera looks toward the horizon, where the last line of sun melts into indigo. The day begins to sleep. She murmurs. Athena rises, her movements graceful. "Then may your dreams be gentle, Queen of Heaven," she says, bowing slightly. Hera nods, her eyes warm. "And may your wisdom guard them." When Athena departs, Hera remains by the pool. She gazes into its surface, seeing faint reflections of everything she has touched that day. The lovers reconciled, the gods appeased, the fleeting peace shared with Zeus. Her reflection smiles back at her, calm and knowing. The stars above shimmer brighter, mirrored perfectly in the still water. Hera dips her fingers into the pool, sending ripples through both worlds, divine and mortal. "Let them rest," she whispers, "and let love hold through the night." As she walks back toward her chamber, the halls of Olympus glow like amber lanterns. The doves roost upon the balcony, feathers silver in the moonlight. Hera pauses beneath the archway and looks once more at the sky. Tonight, no thunder stirs, no quarrel rises. The heavens breathe in rhythm with her heart. Slowly, the Queen of Olympus steps into her room, the pendant of harmony glinting at her throat. The day has given her peace. Not eternal, but enough to dream by. And as she lies upon her bed of clouds, eyes half closed, the stars above whisper her name. Hera, goddess of marriage, guardian of union, the heart that keeps heaven whole. Night settles over Olympus like a soft blue veil. The torches dim, and the marble pillars shimmer under moonlight. Hera lies upon her bed of woven clouds, the pendant from Hephaestus resting over her heart. The air hums with faint music, the lullaby of the constellations drifting across the sky. Her eyes close, and the world begins to fade. Yet in that gentle dimness, another light awakens, the glow of memory. Hera drifts into dream, where time has no hold and eternity becomes soft as breath. She finds herself standing in the meadows of her youth, long before the crown, long before the storms of love and pride. The grass beneath her feet glows with divine dew. Rivers of silver wind through valleys untouched by sorrow. Above, the young gods laugh in the sunlight, Hestia tending her hearths, Demeter shaping the first blossoms, Poseidon carving the sea from mist. The air smells of creation. Hera remembers that world, new, wild, full of promise. And then she sees him, Zeus, bright and bold, his laughter shaking the air. He moves like a storm that has found its rhythm, eyes full of fire and freedom. Even then, her heart had known him, not as a king, but as a spark that could warm or destroy. He walks toward her, barefoot upon the glowing earth. "You are watching again," he teases softly, his voice young, unburdened. Hera blushes, though she hides it behind a steady smile. "Someone must," she says. "Even the storm needs a witness." He laughs, the sound rolling like thunder over the hills. In the dream, she feels what time has taken. The thrill of first love, the innocence of two immortals who believed forever would be simple. They walk together along the river's edge, their hands brushing lightly. "I will build the world for you," Zeus promises, his tone filled with certainty. "And I will keep it," Hera replies, "if you let me." The dream shifts. Clouds gather, gold and violet. The young lovers stand upon Olympus newly formed, the mountain still glowing with creation's fire. Zeus crowns her with stars. The gods cheer. The heavens bloom in celebration. Hera feels the warmth of purpose, the joy of belonging, the sacred vow between power and devotion. But beneath the music, she hears another sound, a whisper of what will come. The weight of jealousy, the ache of betrayal, the endless balance between thunder and patience. Yet even knowing this, she smiles. "For love," she says in her dream, "I will endure the eternity it requires." The vision softens. The meadows fade into twilight once more. Hera finds herself floating through clouds of memory. Fragments of laughter, the faces of gods, the prayers of mortals. She sees temples lit in her honor, brides whispering her name, mothers praying for peace. The devotion warms her like sunlight through silk. But there's one image that lingers, a mortal woman, alone beneath a fading sky, lighting a candle beside an empty chair. Hera watches as the flame trembles, then steadies. She still believes, Hera whispers. Even in absence, that single act of faith fills her dream with light. The goddess opens her hand and finds the pendant glowing softly. The intertwined hands shimmer as if alive. "Harmony endures," she murmurs, even when hearts forget how. Her voice becomes part of the night, blending with the murmur of distant stars. A figure appears beside her, faint, luminous. Zeus, or perhaps only her memory of him. His gaze is gentle, stripped of thunder. "You still dream of me," he says quietly. Hera smiles in her sleep, only in the calm between storms. He laughs, but it is a tender sound, not proud. "You are the better part of us," he says, the stillness that keeps the sky from falling. Hera touches his hand, and it dissolves into starlight. "Then let me hold it forever," she whispers. The dream begins to fade. The meadow, the river, the stars, all dissolve into silver mist. Hera feels herself returning, rising slowly through layers of light and air. The sound of the cosmos hums around her like a heartbeat. When she opens her eyes, the chamber is quiet. The moon still hangs over Olympus, bathing everything in serenity. The pendant glows faintly against her skin, pulsing with the rhythm of peace. Hera exhales, her breath soft as silk. In the silence, she thinks of what the dream has shown her. That love, no matter how burdened, still holds light enough to last through eternity. She smiles faintly. "So long as the stars remember," she says to the night, "so will I." The doves shift upon their perches. A cool wind drifts through the open balcony, carrying the scent of nectar and the promise of another dawn. Hera turns her head toward the window, watching the first pale line of light on the horizon. Her day has come full circle, from sunrise to dreamlight. And as sleep pulls her back into its gentle arms, the Queen of Olympus rests in the comfort of knowing that even gods need moments of stillness. The heavens hum, the stars keep their watch, and love, eternal, imperfect, divine, breathes quietly through the night. The night begins to loosen its hold on Olympus. The moon drifts westward, leaving trails of silver that fade into pale rose. The first breath of morning touches the marble towers, turning their edges to gold. Hera stirs upon her bed of clouds, the faint hum of the heavens awakening around her. Her eyes open slowly, calm and bright. The dream still lingers, its warmth like distant sunlight upon her heart. She sits up, the pendant of harmony glowing softly at her throat. For a moment, she simply listens. The world, both mortal and divine, breathes in unison. It is a sound she knows better than her own voice. She rises gracefully, her bare feet brushing the misty floor. The chamber glows faintly pink as the dawn climbs higher. Hera walks toward the balcony, pushing aside the gauzy curtains that shimmer like liquid pearl. Outside, the horizon blooms, streaks of gold, lavender, and rose weaving together in silent song. The goddess inhales deeply. The air feels new, cleansed, almost tender. So begins another circle, she whispers, her tone serene. The doves awaken, fluttering their wings. One lands upon her wrist, cooing softly. Hera strokes its feathers, smiling faintly. Even you remember peace, she murmurs. Her attendants arrive quietly, their footsteps barely touching the floor. They bring water scented with myrtle and dawnlight, and Hera bathes her hands, the cool touch grounding her thoughts. The nymphs hum an old melody, the same song sung to her on her wedding day, long ago. She listens, her eyes soft with nostalgia. When they crown her with her golden diadem, Hera glances toward the sky. The stars are fading, but one remains, bright, unwavering. The dream has not left me, she says softly. It lives where memory rests. She turns to her mirror of crystal light. Her reflection smiles back, serene and radiant. She steps out into the gardens, where the air still carries the scent of last night's jasmine. The dew sparkles like scattered gems. Every flower seems to lift its face toward her, drinking in her calm presence. Hera walks slowly through the path of lilies, her hand brushing their petals. Each touch leaves behind a trace of divine warmth. In the distance, she sees the fountain of Hephaestus still glowing from the night before. The pendant at her throat warms gently, answering its creator's flame. She thinks of her son, of his patience, of the quiet strength he forges with every spark. Harmony is inherited, she muses, even from pain. From the upper terrace, a figure approaches, Athena, radiant in the soft light of morning. You rise early again, Queen of Heaven, she says, her voice as calm as marble. Hera smiles. Sleep has its gifts, but dawn keeps its promises. Athena walks beside her, their steps in perfect rhythm. Zeus has already left for the skies, Athena mentions. Hera nods, unsurprised. The storm chases him as always, she says. Let it find him strong. They pause beside the reflecting pool. The water mirrors the sunrise, turning to molten gold. Hera gazes at it thoughtfully. I dreamt of the world before thrones, she says quietly, of laughter and beginning. Athena tilts her head. And what did the dream teach you? Hera smiles faintly. That eternity is not made of power, she answers. It is made of forgiveness repeated until peace becomes habit. Athena's eyes soften. Then perhaps the gods still have much to learn from you. A breeze drifts across the garden, carrying the scent of myrrh and sea salt. Hera looks toward the mortal world far below, where fires of mourning are being kindled in every home. Look, she says gently. They begin their day, just as we do. The same light touches them. Athena follows her gaze, and they still whisper your name, she says. Hera's smile deepens. Serene, that is enough, she murmurs. No crown, no thunder, only remembrance. The bells of Olympus sound softly in the distance, marking the first hour of light. Hera lifts her chin, her presence calm and radiant. Today, she declares quietly, shall be without judgment. Let the heavens rest. Athena bows slightly, a rare smile upon her lips. Then even wisdom will take comfort. She departs, her silver armor gleaming as she vanishes into light. Hera remains, watching the world unfold beneath her gaze. The sun rises fully now, flooding the halls of Olympus with brilliance. The goddess spreads her hands, blessing the day. Threads of golden energy ripple outward, descending toward the mortal realm, weaving peace into unseen corners, into hearts, into homes. When the glow fades, Hera lowers her arms. The pendant at her chest pulses once more, then stills. She turns, her gown whispering softly across the marble floor. Another day has begun, one touched by memory, tempered by love, and wrapped in quiet strength. She walks back to her chamber, her heart steady as the rhythm of dawn. On the horizon, clouds drift apart, revealing endless blue. Hera closes her eyes for a moment, breathing deeply. The dream within her heart and the day before her are one and the same, bound by light, forgiveness, and endless devotion. And so, the goddess of marriage greets the new day not as a queen burdened by eternity, but as a soul reborn in its gentle grace. The day unfolds like a golden ribbon. Soft clouds drift lazily beneath Olympus, and the world below glows with quiet life. Hera stands at the edge of her balcony, gazing at the mortal lands far beneath. Villages awaken, hearths burn, and laughter drifts faintly through the veil of morning mist. She feels the call within her chest, gentle yet firm, a longing to walk unseen among those who live and love without immortality. Today, she whispers to the wind, I will remember what it means to care. The pendant of harmony glows softly as if blessing her choice. With a breath of divinity, Hera's form begins to shimmer. The light around her bends and softens until the Queen of Heaven stands transformed. Her crown becomes a linen scarf, her gown turns to a humble robe, and her divine glow folds inward, hidden beneath warm mortal eyes. In a blink, she descends. The world of men rises to meet her, the scent of earth, fire, and bread mingling in the air. She lands gently upon a hillside overlooking a small village surrounded by olive trees and golden fields. The song of a shepherd drifts faintly in the distance. Hera walks down the path, her steps slow and deliberate. Children run past her, laughing, their cheeks pink with life. One little girl pauses, staring curiously. You look like my mother, she says. Hera kneels, smiling kindly. Then your mother must be very wise. The child giggles and runs off again. As Hera enters the village, she observes the rhythm of simple existence. Women hang linen in the sun, men work the fields, and an old man carves small figurines by the well. Every sound is sincere, unpolished, real. The goddess feels the pulse of life in every heartbeat around her. She notices a young couple nearby, speaking softly yet tensely. Their hands brush, then retreat. The woman's eyes are weary, her voice low. He no longer hears me, she whispers. Hera stops, her heart stirring. She approaches them gently. May I sit? She asks. The couple, surprised by her presence, nod respectfully. They speak little at first, unsure of the stranger's calm grace. Then Hera asks softly, What troubles your bond? The woman looks away. We've grown apart. The days pass, and we no longer share the same dreams. The man sighs. We work, we eat, we sleep. Nothing more. Hera listens, her gaze serene. Love, she says quietly, is not the absence of silence but the courage to speak within it. They glance at her, puzzled. She continues, the heart does not fade when it grows quiet. It simply waits to be heard again. The couple exchange a glance, something unspoken passing between them. The man reaches for his wife's hand, hesitant but true. Then I will listen, he murmurs. The woman's eyes glisten with tears. Hera smiles gently. Then your home will be stronger than any temple. They thank her, unaware of who she truly is. As Hera stands, a faint light dances briefly in her eyes before vanishing. She continues her walk, passing gardens and courtyards, watching families prepare their midday meals. The smell of bread and herbs fills the air, comforting and familiar. Near the edge of the village, she finds an elderly woman tending a small altar of stones. The woman bows her head, whispering prayers to Hera herself. The goddess pauses, her heart swelling with quiet emotion. She kneels beside the woman, unnoticed. What do you ask of the Queen of Heaven? Hera whispers softly. The old woman smiles faintly without opening her eyes. I ask her to bless those who forget she still watches kindly, she says. Not with fear, but with peace. Hera's breath catches. A single tear, radiant as dew, slips down her cheek. The woman senses her presence then, her eyes opening slowly. You feel familiar, she says gently. Hera smiles. Perhaps you've known me all your life. The woman nods. Then tell her I am grateful, not for miracles, but for the chance to love. Hera bows her head. She hears you. The afternoon sun warms the village, and Hera remains until shadows lengthen. Children chase fireflies, and laughter echoes across the hills. The goddess stands among them, invisible yet deeply present. Every sound, every face, every heartbeat reminds her of why she guards the sanctity of home. As twilight descends, Hera returns to the hillside where she first arrived. The sky is brushed in violet and gold. She gazes back at the village, now glowing with hearthlight, each flame a quiet prayer to the unseen divine. So fragile, yet so eternal, she whispers. The pendant at her chest shimmers again, calling her homeward. But before she rises, she lifts her hand in blessing. A gentle breeze sweeps through the fields, carrying peace into every dwelling. Lovers embrace, families laugh, and weary hearts rest lighter. Hera smiles faintly as her mortal form dissolves into light. The village below remains unaware of the goddess who walked among them, but their dreams at night are filled with calm, as though wrapped in a mother's eternal care. When Hera reappears on Olympus, night has already fallen. The stars hum softly, and the air feels lighter. She stands once more as the queen she has always been, but something within her is different. Not divine, but deeply human. She looks toward the mortal world one last time before sleep. Love, she whispers, is not worship. It is remembering. Then, with the peace of both goddess and woman, she turns and walks into the embrace of her quiet chamber. Olympus rests beneath a sky of velvet indigo. Stars shimmer like scattered tears of light, and the moon glides gently between drifting veils of cloud. Hera returns in silence, her steps soft upon the marble floors that gleam like still water. The air hums faintly, sensing the calm after something unseen yet sacred. Her attendants bow, but she raises a gentle hand. No need, she whispers. The night asks for quiet. They retreat respectfully, leaving her alone in the vast hall of columns and starlight. Hera walks slowly toward the open terrace, where the wind carries the faint scent of cedar and rain. From afar, a distant flash of lightning blooms across the horizon, not fierce, but tired. Hera lifts her eyes, and she knows. Zeus is near. The clouds shift, and a familiar figure descends upon the golden steps, his presence vast but softened. No thunder follows, only the sound of wind moving through eternity. They stand for a moment without words. The world below hums gently, as if waiting. Zeus studies her face, serene, unguarded, touched by something he cannot name. You've been among them, he says at last. His voice is deep, but quiet, like the sea at rest. Hera nods, her gaze steady. Yes, I wanted to remember why we guard what we do. Not for power, but for love. She turns slightly, the moonlight catching the faint glow of her pendant. Mortals forget us less than we forget them. Zeus takes a slow breath, the weight of ages in his eyes. And what did you find there? He asks. Hera smiles faintly. Everything we've lost. Simplicity, tenderness, the courage to forgive. She pauses, then adds softly, and the beauty of silence shared between two hearts. For a long moment, Zeus says nothing. The night stretches around them, vast and kind. Then he steps closer, his tone almost humble. You speak as though eternity could be gentle. Hera looks at him, calm and certain. It can, if we stop trying to conquer it. He chuckles faintly. Not mockery, but memory. You've always spoken like dawn itself, he murmurs. Light wrapped around truth. Hera tilts her head, and you, like the storm that hides a star. His smile deepens. Quiet, knowing. Then perhaps both are needed. They move toward the railing, standing side by side as they gaze at the mortal world below. The lights of villages flicker like constellations of their own. They still pray to us, Zeus says, almost wistful, even when we no longer answer every call. Hera nods. Because they don't pray for miracles, my love. They pray to be seen. Zeus glances at her, his eyes softened. And did you see them? She smiles. Yes, I saw love mended with words, forgiveness born in small kitchens, and hope carried by the tired. I saw us, reflected in their frailty. He looks down at his hands that have shaped thunder and galaxies. Perhaps they are closer to divinity than we are, he admits. Hera touches his arm gently. Perhaps because they love without eternity to rely on. For a time, they remain there, bathed in silver moonlight. No thunder, no fire, only breath and presence. Hera leans slightly into him, and he does not resist. The space between them, once vast as the sky, feels tender and human. Zeus breaks the silence with a quiet confession. When you were gone, Olympus felt hollow. Hera's eyes soften, not because it missed its queen, she says, but because it forgot its heart. He nods slowly. Then perhaps I should listen more, as you have. She smiles gently. Listening is the rarest form of power. He laughs softly, a sound like rain. Then you've become stronger than all my storms. Hera's laughter joins his, low and melodic, weaving through the night like music too ancient to fade. The wind shifts, carrying warmth. Far below, the mortal world sleeps under her blessing. Hera closes her eyes, resting her head lightly upon Zeus's shoulder. For once, there is no weight of rule, no echo of rivalry, only the stillness of two souls remembering why they began. He places his hand over hers. Will you tell me of your dream? He asks quietly. She nods. It was not of power or punishment, but of us, before the crown, before Olympus. We were simply light and wind, two halves of a promise. Zeus exhales, a sound between grief and peace. Then let us keep it, even now. Hera turns to him, her gaze steady, forgiving. Promises are not kept by words, but by gentleness repeated. He smiles faintly. Then teach me. A faint shimmer of dawn begins at the edge of the world. Hera looks toward it, her expression serene. The morning comes, she whispers. Let it find us as we were, together. Zeus nods. Together, then, the thunder god and the queen of heaven stand hand in hand, their figures glowing softly against the lightning sky. For once, the heavens do not rumble, they sigh, content. And when the first rays of sun touch Olympus, it is not a realm of power but of peace. Two eternal beings stand quietly, bound not by fear, but by understanding, a moment rare enough to shape even eternity itself. The sun rises gently over Olympus, washing the marble palaces in honeyed light. The clouds around the peaks glow rose and white, drifting like soft sails. Hera steps into the gardens, her movements unhurried, her gown shimmering with quiet grace. The air is fresh, scented with pine and blooming myrtle. Today feels different. The halls of Olympus, so often echoing with argument and thunder, seem hushed, almost reverent. Hera smiles faintly to herself. Peace, she thinks, is contagious. Even immortals, for all their pride, can feel it. As she walks, nymphs scatter petals across her path, though she waves them away gently. No ceremony today, she says softly. Let the morning be simple. They bow and vanish into the trees, their laughter trailing behind like silver mist. She pauses beside a fountain where her son Hephaestus works quietly, shaping molten metal into delicate forms. Sparks leap and fade like fireflies. Mother, he greets, his voice calm. You seem lighter than the dawn. Hera smiles warmly. Perhaps I finally remembered how to breathe. He looks up, puzzled but pleased. You have never forgotten creation, he says. Only kindness to yourself. Hera touches his shoulder gently. Then today, let that be our craft. Kindness. The metal hums softly in agreement as if blessing her words. She moves on, through corridors lined with light. From the far courtyard comes the sound of laughter, musical, bright. Aphrodite sits upon a marble bench, surrounded by doves. Her golden hair glimmers in the morning sun. When she sees Hera, she tilts her head, surprised. Queen of heaven, she says with a playful smile. You walk as though carrying peace instead of pride today. Hera chuckles softly, an unfamiliar but pleasant sound. Perhaps peace weighs less. Aphrodite laughs, her eyes narrowing with curiosity. I like this version of you. They sit together, two goddesses of different hearts. One of love, one of devotion. And for once, no rivalry lingers between them. You know, Hera says gently, love and marriage are not enemies. They are breaths of the same soul. Aphrodite nods thoughtfully. Perhaps I have often forgotten that. Hera's gaze softens, as have I. For a moment, silence settles, easy and warm. The doves coo softly around them, and sunlight filters through the vines. Aphrodite smiles. Then we begin anew? Hera nods. Always. From above, Athena descends, her silver armor gleaming faintly in the light. A rare sight, she remarks, smiling faintly. Wisdom joining love and fidelity in the same garden. Hera glances up. Then join us, daughter. The morning welcomes reason too. Athena sits gracefully beside them. The three of them. strength, wisdom, and love. Share a quiet meal of figs and nectar. You seem changed, my queen, Athena observes softly. Hera nods. Change is what remains when pride sleeps. They speak of simple things, the music of rivers, the patience of olive trees, the laughter of mortals. Every word feels lighter, carried by the morning wind. Even Aphrodite's teasing becomes gentle, her voice wrapped in fondness rather than vanity. Later, as the sun climbs higher, Hermes flits past, his sandals glimmering. The air feels strange today, he muses, like the world is holding its breath. Hera smiles at him. Perhaps it's simply listening. He laughs, bowing mid-flight. Then I'll deliver silence as my next message. Throughout the day, Hera's presence ripples quietly across Olympus. Where she walks, quarrels fade. Where she speaks, laughter grows soft and genuine. Even Ares pauses his training, sensing the calm. Mother, he says, puzzled. The air feels still. Hera places a hand on his shoulder. Peace is not stillness, my son. It's strength without struggle. He frowns, then nods slowly, the truth settling into him like a seed. Hera continues, her steps as light as falling petals. The mountain hums with harmony. For once, the gods seem human, imperfect, kind, alive. As evening nears, Hera returns to the great hall where the golden thrones stand. Zeus enters moments later, the last light of day shining upon him. He looks around, surprised at the serenity. Olympus has never sounded so calm, he says. Hera smiles softly. Even eternity needs rest. He watches her for a long moment, then smiles, not as a ruler, but as a companion. Whatever you've brought back from your journey, keep it, he says. It suits you, she nods. It suits us all. The two of them walk together through the quiet halls, side by side. No words needed. The air between them hums with balance, storm and serenity, thunder and dawn. Outside, the stars begin to appear, one by one, like blessings scattered across the velvet sky. The gods retire slowly, their laughter subdued, their hearts lighter. Hera pauses on the terrace once more, gazing at the mortal world below. The villages glow softly, their hearths like tiny stars mirroring the heavens. She closes her eyes, feeling their prayers not as requests, but as whispers of gratitude. And in that stillness, she senses something new. Not adoration, but connection. The world and Olympus breathe as one. The goddess of marriage, once fierce and proud, now stands wrapped in quiet wonder. Love, she thinks, is not commanded. It is shared. And for the first time in ages, Olympus feels like a home. The night stretches across Olympus like a dark silk tapestry, embroidered with silver stars. The wind drifts softly, carrying the scent of jasmine and pine. Hera steps onto her terrace, the pendant of harmony warm against her chest. Above, the moon glows softly, a pale guardian in the heavens. Selene appears, gliding on her silver chariot, her light spilling like gentle milk across the gardens. Hera, she whispers, her voice like water flowing over smooth stones. You walk the night with quiet fire. Hera inclines her head, smiling faintly. And you, Selene, have kept watch over centuries with such grace. The two goddesses sit together upon the marble ledge, their forms bathed in silver. I have been among mortals today, Hera says, her voice soft, and seen their hearts, fragile, courageous, flawed, yet luminous. I understand something new. Selene listens, her gaze serene. Mortals love without guarantee, Hera continues. They forgive without immortality to lean on. And yet, their devotion endures. Fleeting, imperfect, and all the more precious for it. She looks at the moon, seeking reflection. Selene nods slowly. It is a gift of time. You cannot hold it, but you can honor it. Hera exhales, a soft sound that mingles with the rustle of leaves. I thought eternity was strength, she whispers. But perhaps it is patience, the quiet tending of hearts, both divine and mortal, until light grows in them once more. Selene tilts her head, silver hair drifting with the night wind. You have changed, Selene says, her tone gentle. The storms within you are quieter, your eyes softer. Hera smiles faintly. A journey among humans teaches humility, and love, even divine love, learns its lessons in silence. The goddess of marriage gazes down toward the villages, tiny fires glowing like scattered stars. I bless them today, she murmurs, not with power, but with care. It is enough for the night to know they rest peacefully. Selene leans closer, a faint glow reflecting upon Hera's face. And it is enough for you, too. Hera closes her eyes, feeling the cool breeze mingle with the warmth of her heart. I have walked as both goddess and woman, she says quietly. Seen hearts falter, seen hands reach for each other, and felt what it means to nurture love without commanding it. Selene hums softly. Then you carry wisdom beyond your years. I carry more than wisdom, Hera admits. I carry understanding. Power is fleeting, but care endures. That is the lesson mortals and immortals alike forget. Selene's light swirls around her, forming gentle patterns. And now, she asks, what will you do with this knowledge? Hera gazes at the moonlit mountains, their peaks touching the edge of eternity. I will weave it into Olympus, she says, her tone steady. Into the halls, the hearts of gods, the spaces between thunder and dawn. Harmony does not arrive in a day, but it can grow in quiet moments like this. Selene's voice drifts, soft as wind over silver waters. And love, Hera smiles, eyes reflecting starlight. Love remains, not as a storm to conquer, but as light to guide. Even Zeus, even the heavens themselves, need its quiet touch. The night deepens, stars multiplying like tiny sparks. Hera and Selene sit in companionable silence, watching the mortal world rest beneath the gentle sweep of the moon. You have walked among them, Selene says at last, and returned whole. Hera nods, whole, and with something more, a reminder that eternity is not just ours to command. It is ours to witness. A soft sigh escapes her lips, blending with the sound of distant rivers and rustling leaves. I am tired, she admits, though not of duty, but of understanding. Tired in the way that comes from knowing one has touched the hearts of both gods and mortals. Selene hums, her voice a lullaby of silver. You may rest, Queen of Olympus, Selene says. The night holds you as gently as you hold the world. Hera leans back, letting the stars drift across her vision, the pendant of harmony pulsing faintly. I will rest, she replies, and let the night carry what I cannot yet shape. They sit together for a long while, the goddess of the moon and the goddess of marriage, bathed in light and shadow. No quarrels, no storms, only reflection, care, and the quiet music of eternity. Hera thinks of all she has seen today. The mortals forgiven, the gods soothed, the laughter shared, the hands held. She smiles faintly. Even eternity, she whispers, can learn from a single heartbeat. Selene glows brighter for a moment, the silver wrapping around Hera like a shawl. Then may that heartbeat guide you, she says, through every night, every dawn, and every moment between. Hera closes her eyes, breathing in the harmony that surrounds them. And as the stars hum softly, the Queen of Olympus rests her head against the marble, feeling not the weight of immortality, but the quiet joy of understanding. That love, patience, and care are eternal, in mortals, in gods, and in herself. Dawn drifts gently across Olympus, painting marble towers with soft hues of rose and gold. Hera rises from her bed of clouds, the pendant of harmony warm against her chest. The night's reflection with Selene still hums within her heart, filling her with calm and clarity. She stretches lightly, feeling the cool air brush her skin. Every breath seems deeper than before, as if the world itself has slowed to match her rhythm. Today is a day for quiet presence, for seeing and nurturing rather than commanding or judging. Hera walks to the balcony. Below, mortal villages glimmer with early fires. She smiles faintly, remembering the people she touched yesterday. Even a fleeting moment of care can ripple far beyond sight, she thinks, and Olympus itself will feel the difference. Her gaze shifts to the palace gardens, where Hephaestus already works at his forge. Sparks rise lazily, reflecting the morning light. He glances up, seeing her approach, and bows slightly. Mother, he says softly, you seem at peace today. Hera smiles warmly. Peace is earned, not given, she replies, and I intend to share it. She walks among the gods in the great hall, her steps measured. Zeus is already present, reading scrolls of prophecy. When he looks up and meets her eyes, there is a quiet understanding. No pride, no thunder, only presence. Good morning, he says simply. Hera inclines her head. Good morning, my love. Let today be without storms. Zeus rises, following her through the halls. Even Ares pauses his training, sensing the unusual calm. Mother, he remarks, the air feels lighter. Hera smiles gently. Strength is not always noise, my son. Sometimes it is stillness. Ares nods, thoughtful, as if learning anew. Hera approaches the dining terrace where other goddesses have gathered. Aphrodite looks up, curious. You radiate a new light, she says, tilting her head. Hera smiles. It comes from listening, not commanding, from understanding the hearts of mortals and gods alike. Aphrodite tilts her head, impressed, even humbled. Athena joins them, her silver armor catching the morning sun. Wisdom, strength, and love, she says softly, all gathered in one presence. Olympus has not known such harmony in centuries. Hera inclines her head. Then let us carry it together, one step at a time. The goddesses sit, sharing fruit and nectar, laughter soft and genuine. Even minor quarrels dissolve under Hera's calm presence. Mortals would say that small kindnesses matter, she thinks, but even gods can forget. Today, they remember. Hephaestus approaches again, carrying a small sculpture. For you, mother, he says. It glows faintly with divine light, representing hands intertwined. Hera lifts it gently, a symbol, she says, that love and harmony are never idle, even in silence. Hera walks to the open courtyard. Zeus follows quietly, their hands brushing at moments, never grasping, only connecting. The world seems at peace today, he murmurs. Because you have reminded us of what matters, she replies. Her eyes sweep over the horizon, where mortals begin their daily toil with hope. Even Ares and Dionysus pause to watch her, sensing the unusual calm. Aphrodite leans toward Athena. I did not think it possible, she whispers. Hera can truly soften the mountain of Olympus. Athena smiles faintly. Softness is strength when wielded wisely. Hera spends the morning walking through the gardens, greeting each god and goddess with warmth. Small gestures, a nod, a smile, a shared word, create ripples. The palace hums with newfound harmony, a quiet energy that spreads from her heart to theirs. She pauses by the reflecting pool, gazing at her own reflection. The night with Selene, the walks among mortals, the quiet moments with Zeus, all of it has changed her. She sees herself not just as queen, but as a nurturer, a witness, a guide for hearts both divine and mortal. A gentle breeze lifts her hair as Zeus steps beside her. You have taught Olympus a rare lesson, he says softly. Hera turns, a faint smile touching her lips. And it is only the beginning, she replies. Every day is a chance to practice patience, care, and understanding. The sun climbs higher, casting golden rays across the palace and gardens. Hera lifts her hands, blessing both Olympus and the mortal world below. Threads of gentle light ripple outward, carrying peace, love, and quiet joy. Even the stars seem to shimmer in response. She turns back to Zeus, her eyes calm and radiant. Let today be a day of listening, she says, of noticing the small miracles and the quiet hearts. For in those moments, eternity is truly felt. He smiles faintly, understanding more in that moment than words could convey. Hera walks back into the halls of Olympus, her steps light. Gods and goddesses follow, not out of obligation, but drawn to her presence. Even minor disputes dissolve. Harmony, she realizes, is not force. It is attention, care, and gentle persistence. As midday approaches, the palace hums with life tempered by calm. Hera watches her companions, mortal and immortal alike, and feels a deep satisfaction. This is the power she cherishes, not thunder or storms, but hearts mended, laughter shared, and quiet love acknowledged. The Queen of Olympus pauses once more by the terrace. The wind carries the scent of flowers and sun-warmed stone. She closes her eyes, breathing in the rhythm of life, both mortal and divine. Hera smiles faintly. Today, Olympus has remembered what she has learned, and her heart rests lighter than it has in centuries.